In this video, let's see how to post data to an API from our React application. Now, if you take a look at the object properties for an individual post, we have user ID, title, and body. The ID itself is self-incrementing and doesn't have to be sent as part of the post request. So what we are going to do is create 3 input fields, one each for user ID, title, and body. We will store the data in the state object and make a post request on click of the submit button. Let's get started. I'm going to go back to VS Code and create a new file called PostForm.js. Within the file, I'm going to use the snippet RCE to create a class component. I will get rid of the name export, and for the JSX, I am going to copy paste a form with 3 input elements. One for user ID, one for title, and one for body. Next, let's create state properties for these 3 fields and link them back to the input elements. rconst, user ID, title, and body. Next, let's destructure them in the render method and add their values to the value attribute of the input elements. Destructure and assign to the value attribute. Next, we add the onChange handler to track the change in input values and keep them in sync with the state object. OnChange is equal to this dot change handler. I'm going to copy paste the same for the other 2 inputs as well. And this change handler is going to be an arrow function which is going to accept the event as its argument. And within the body, we're going to call setState, where the key is going to be e.target.name, and the value is going to be e.target.value. By making use of the name attribute, we don't have to have separate handlers for each input. The last thing we need is the submit handler. So at the very end, I'm going to add a button of type submit. And then on the form tag, we listen to the onSubmit event and assign a handler, this dot submit handler. Now let's define the handler. So submit handler is going to be an arrow function. And within the body, for now, we will prevent default to avoid page refresh and simply log to the console the state object. Back in app component, I will include PostForm component. If we now go back to the browser, fill in the fields, and click on submit, we should have the state object with the values logged in the console. Now that we have the object we want to post, let's do the same with Axios. Now this is pretty much like the GET request with a small change. First, at the top, import Axios. Import Axios from Axios. Next, in the submit handler, we make the post request. Axios.post, and the first argument is the URL, which as it turns out is the same as the GET request. So copy the URL and paste it. Now the 2 endpoints are different though because of the GET and POST HTTP verbs. The POST method takes in a second argument, which is the data that has to be sent. In our case, it is the state object, this dot state. Once the request completes, we either get a response or get an error. To keep it simple, I will simply log them both to the console. Now let's go back to the browser and test it out. I will fill in user ID, title, and body and click on Submit. You should now be able to see the response in the console. If you expand the data object, you pretty much get back the same object you posted, but this time with the unique ID property. This data object can then be used for any necessary changes in the UI. For example, you can add this object to the end of the post list, which might be displayed in the browser. So there you go, a post request in your React application with Axios. Create the input fields, tie the values to the state object, and make a post request in the submit handler. Now, posting data generally requires form validation and so on. And you might want to take a look at a library like Formic, which helps you with forms in React. Also, if you're using Redux, you might want to take a look at Redux Axios middleware. But what we have seen in this video is the simplest way to post data to a server. Now, once you get the hang of get and post requests, making put or delete requests is pretty much the same. So I will leave that for you guys to experiment with. Now then, I did mention earlier, hooks are officially released as part of version 16.8. If you have followed all the videos till now, you are perfectly placed to start learning about hooks. And trust me, you will be in a much better place to appreciate what hooks bring to the table when you have already worked with class components. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we start talking about hooks.